well with Rwanda and with Congo, and we hope they're going to get along.
They're in Arizona. Why did the FBI seize election records in that state?
Well, they probably thought the election was rigged, right?
It wasn't rigged, though.
Oh, really? How do you know? How do you know?
Your own Attorney General in 2020 said that there was not measurable voter fraud to change the outcome of the election.
Think it was rigged? I think it was rigged.
There's no evidence, sir. Where's the evidence of that?
It wasn't rigged. You're a rotten reporter.
Where's the evidence of that?
That moment right there says a lot. A reporter asks a very simple question, and instead of answering it, the president immediately jumps to insults. No evidence, no explanation, just anger. And then the conversation ends. But what makes this moment interesting isn't just the exchange itself, it's what happened throughout the entire press event. Because multiple reporters were pushing back, multiple questions were being fact-checked, and at several points, the conversation between the press and Donald Trump turned tense very quickly. So today we're going to break down the entire sequence, the contradictions, the confrontations, and the moment when a reporter challenged the president directly and the conversation completely fell apart. But before we get to that final exchange, there was another moment earlier in the press conference that set the tone for the whole day.
Let's see what happens to them. But 47 bad years we suffered with them, not only us, the rest of the world. And we're doing our job. So we had to take an excursion, but it's doing well. The market's holding up well. I figured we'd be hit a little bit, but we were hit probably less than I thought, and we'll be back on track in a pretty short while. Prices are coming down very substantially. Oil will be coming down. That's just a matter of war. That happens you can almost predict it. I would say it went up a little bit less than we thought. It's going to come down more than anybody understands. Do you have any questions, Peter?
Yes. You just said it is a little excursion, and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. For them, it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought.
That moment might sound small, but it caught reporters' attention immediately. Because within the span of just a few seconds, two completely different descriptions were used. First, it was called an excursion. Then it was described as a war. And when the reporter pointed out the contradiction, the response was simply, it's both. Now, press briefings often include tough questions. That's part of the job. Reporters are there to clarify statements and ask for details. But moments like this can quickly turn into tense exchanges when the answers aren't clear. And as the press conference continued, those tensions only increased. Because the next question dealt with a much more serious topic.
Shows a new report says that the military investigation has found that the United States struck the school in Iran. As Commander-in-Chief, do you take responsibility for that?
That is what?
As Commander-in-Chief, do you...
For what?
For the strike on the school in Iran. A new report says the military investigation has found it was the United States that struck the school.
I don't know about it.
That question immediately changed the tone of the room. Because it wasn't about wording anymore. It was about responsibility. The reporter referenced a report suggesting that the United States had struck a school in Iran. And the question was straightforward. Would the president take responsibility as commander-in-chief? The response was short. I don't know about it. Now, sometimes leaders genuinely don't have information about a specific report yet. That happens. But when you combine moments like this with earlier contradictions, you can start to see why reporters kept pressing for clearer answers. And they did. Because the next question focused on something even broader, the outcome of the conflict itself.
Can you declare victory in this war if the supreme leader remains the Ayatollah's son? I don't want to comment on that. I don't want to comment. But I will tell you, I just spoke with various countries, the leaders of various countries. You'll have a list. And they said they've never seen anything like it. We have, and I built it during my first term, and I used it. I didn't realize I was going to use it this much, but we have the greatest military in the world by far. Nobody close.
That exchange showed another common pattern in press briefings. A question about one topic, turning into an answer about something else. The reporter asked about the conditions for victory, but instead of defining a clear outcome, the conversation shifted toward the strength of the US military. Now, there's no doubt the United States maintains one of the most powerful militaries in the world. But that wasn't the original question. And moments like that kept building tension between the press and the podium, because every unanswered question tends to lead to another one. And that's exactly what happened next.
Mr. President, did Spain intervene after you told them that you would commerce ties with them? Are they cooperating with the United States?
Who?
Spain.
No, they're not. I think they're not cooperating at all. Spain, I think they've been very bad. Very bad. Not good at all. We may cut off trade with Spain.
You guys all trade with them?
I don't know what Spain's doing. They've been very bad to NATO. They get protected. They don't want to pay their fair share. And they've been that way for many years, actually. Let me give you the good news. The people of Spain are fantastic. The leadership, like you. The leadership, not so good.
That comment raised eyebrows for a different reason. Spain is a major U.S. ally and part of NATO. Trade between the United States and Spain involves billions of dollars every year. So when the possibility of cutting off trade was mentioned, reporters quickly tried to understand what exactly that meant. Was it a negotiating tactic, a policy proposal, or simply frustration in the moment? Those questions didn't receive detailed answers either. But by this point, the pattern was becoming clear. Every few minutes, another reporter stepped forward with another challenge. And eventually, one of those challenges turned into the most tense exchange of the entire press conference. That brings us back to the clip we started with, the exchange about election records in Arizona. A reporter referenced a claim about the election being rigged, then immediately pointed out that the president's own attorney general had previously said there was no measurable fraud that would have changed the outcome. At that point, the conversation escalated. Instead of providing evidence or clarification, the response turned personal. The reporter was insulted, and the conversation ended abruptly. Press conferences have always been unpredictable. Reporters push hard questions. Leaders sometimes push back. That dynamic isn't new. But what makes moments like this stand out is how quickly discussions can shift from policy to confrontation. And in modern politics, those confrontations often become the clips that spread across social media within minutes. Short exchanges, sharp reactions, and headlines that travel far beyond the original press room. This particular press event happened during a time when multiple political issues were already dominating the news cycle. International conflict, economic uncertainty, questions about energy prices, and debates about election security. Each of those topics alone would normally lead to intense questioning from the press. Combined together, they create an environment where nearly every answer leads to another question. And that's exactly what unfolded here. After the press conference ended, the clips spread quickly online. Different networks highlighted different moments. Some focused on the contradiction between excursion and war. Others focused on the exchange about election fraud. And many political commentators debated whether the press had been too aggressive, or whether the questions were simply part of holding leaders accountable. That debate is likely to continue, because confrontations between presidents and reporters have always played a major role in shaping political narratives. At the end of the day, moments like this leave viewers with a bigger question. How should leaders respond when they're challenged directly by reporters? Some choose to answer in detail, some deflect the question, and some react emotionally. But whichever approach they take, those moments are captured on camera and analyzed almost instantly. Which means every exchange, every answer, and every reaction becomes part of the public record. And sometimes, a single question from a reporter can turn an ordinary press conference into the story everyone is talking about.